dream, a future, a word that lets us indulge in, the opportunities of tomorrow. But in this modern world, it seems like people are forced to have one. But here's another dream, the fantasy that we experience during sleep. And I believe that the nighttime dream that we have in our comfy bed unconsciously are freer than the one that we try to enact in real life. Dream, the one about the future, starts at the very beginning of a human's life, sometimes even before going to primary school. Many people have the experience of insisting to become a celebrity, princess, and a superhero at the young age after seeing them from various cartoons. Even myself, I once dreamt of becoming a queen of my own country, which I totally gave up becoming one now. Children are free in their future, as it seems like a far story. And most importantly, the world doesn't care about what these children babble. They just regard these dreams as a moment that will pass shortly, which seems to be a correct assumption by looking at my case and the others. From primary school, your teacher asks the class to present a small self-introduction with your name and what you want to be in the future to the rest of the class. When it gets to secondary school, the fact that you need to have a dream remains the same, but the depth of the same question becomes a lot deeper and more serious. Although the same question has been asked frequently, young adults tend to hesitate to answer as they're not sure what they want to do with their life. So they can't take the responsibility for it once they've spoken it out loud. Nevertheless, senior students are impetuous as they have to decide on their university courses. People who have graduated from university now need to get a job. Though, according to Washington Post, only 27% of university graduates get a job related to their major. If 73% of people get another random job, why are students forced to clarify their future and chase their dreams? 3/4 of them are going to end up working in a completely different field. In fact, not knowing what you want to be isn't out of norm. But this is the norm according to the statistics. We're meant to feel bad and unsure in our age of 16, 17, and 18 because we're not 100% certain with our future path. Like this, many people struggle on where they want to go or where they belong. But we need to run as soon as the flare has been fired because everyone else is crossing the line. In fact, everyone secretly doubts and hesitates to cross the line. Everybody deserves to run in their own pace, but at the same time, the world forces us to perfectly conform to the society that we consider normal. In many Asian countries, students are told to go to university, get a stable job, and find their companion before it becomes too late. These obvious missions demanded by the modern world tires its occupants and eventually cause what is called burnout. Lived fiercely, knowing much about the world, but not knowing who they are, nor what they like. Not all, but many parents put their children under pressure of expectations and burden on them. These poor little kids take that as their parents' love and attention and try to hold it tight and not lose track. But as everyone knows, keeping up with an incessant expectation is very, very difficult. Although children are weighed down with expectations, they think it's their fault and fall into Great Depression. But here's a typical example that we should have a look at. 76.6% of people in the world use Windows as their desktop operating system. In 2020, Microsoft ranked second largest company in the world, and Bill Gates, the former CEO of Microsoft, it's always in the top global list of most admired people in the world. Surprisingly, this extremely successful man didn't follow the prescribed path of graduating from an elite university. He dropped out of Harvard in his second year. Can you imagine how people around him would have considered him insane to leave such a prestigious university? It's totally crazy to give up on a graduate certificate from Harvard. Though 5 years later, Microsoft hit a massive breakout. This shows that Gates followed his passion to the computer labs instead of going to Harvard, but at the same time, he also became successful. Both happiness and success came to him after turning against conformity. As a grade 11 student, I'm currently struggling and doubted with my A-level subject choices. 2 years ago, I was really into robotics, and I was sure that I wanted to be a robotics engineer. But recently, my passion for robotics gradually decreased, and now I can't confidently say that I want to be a robotics engineer anymore. This change of mind and uncertainty of interest frustrated me as I was watching other friends who have already decided on their path. I thought I would be a loser if I didn't decide quickly. So I pushed myself to choose 2 science courses. Now that I'm about to take the final exam, I'm still unsure whether I really want to be an engineer or if I should keep up with the 2 science courses, which are very difficult. So I keep constantly imagining going back to that moment of decision and picture if it would have been better if I chose different subjects. But I know I can't reverse my decisions. So instead of regretting, now I keep telling myself, it's never too late to do anything, and it will never be too late to do anything. So I'll just give the bestest best in the present, and if I find out this isn't my path, I can go look for another one. If I enjoy it, I'll be happy, and one day I might also be successful as well. The world put a standard name, normal, and people want to hide or squeeze themselves into that small circle, forcing themselves to fit in. These people lose themselves from this process. A person may have the characteristics of being a little shy and introverted, and others may be the opposite. But they aren't sure of their own feelings, thoughts, and actions, only trying their best to follow the normal. They want to feel safe by being what other people want them to be. As this repeats many times, people become numb to their own feelings. They try their very best to stay on track, even if they exploit themselves and feel pain by doing so. Slowly, people feel as if they're losers, failures, and incompetent when they make a mistake or cannot keep up with the expectations of normality. This whole idea of normal shouldn't really exist as it controls people's identities. What I want to tell everyone is to be someone that you like, instead of trying to perfectly conform to the society that we consider normal. Regardless of what we do, there will always be choices that we'll look back on and wish we've done differently. A person who only started in their life will regret on not spending their time relaxing with their families and friends, and a person who only played and relaxed will regret on not studying so hard. Therefore, if we have a moment of happiness within our own norm, and if we realize how each and everybody's norms are different from each other, then what we actually should do is to try to conform to our own norm rather than obeying the framework that the world has created. Whatever makes you hesitate, trust yourself. You're never too late to do anything. So again, dream your own dream. Make your own norm. And be your own future. Thank you.